Let's start with just overall big picture. Mets won 3 out of 4. Have to at least, I know it's against bad teams. I know they haven't looked great, but still winning is better than losing for this club.
Yeah, I mean, I feel better about them, Sal, but I'm with you on this. I mean, there's a long way to go. I mean, to me, right now, they're a bad team until proven otherwise, and they've got to win a lot more to get on that the good side of that. To me, they've played poorly, and they played better recently, but this year has been a bad year so far. Their record is bad. It's not the worst in the majors anymore, Harp, so that's a good thing. But it's still right down there, and they need to generate more offense, and they've got to get there. So how about a little bit more of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, one thing you left out, I thought Peterson's game was pretty important. For whatever reason, he pitches better out of the bullpen than does as a starter, but he had the ball down finally. He's going to still be an effective pitcher. They have a chance to still have a pretty good rotation here. You can't trade Vientos now. You're not going to get much for him. You got to hope that he can finally figure something. He says he's found something. We'll see. And I love Benge. Benge, he talks about playing freely. He's a natural player. He's a natural hitter. He's starting to kind of turn it on. He's going to be here for a long time.
Jose, let's focus on Benge, doing it with the glove, not taking himself too seriously, even during a misplay.
Yeah, like that.
Starting to feel himself a little bit, hit a monstrous home run. What are you seeing from Carson Benge?
As a young player, when you make a ball glove from spin training, it's going to be a lot of pressure on you because, it's happened to me before. You always think if I gotta bad 2 weeks, they're gonna send me down to the minor league. But the good stuff I see about this kid, he know that he's gonna be playing every day, and we see how better he been lately. I think he gonna continue to get better because the talent for him is the limit, and it's good to see him coming along.
And you think now once you relax and start to have some success, instead of that pressure, there's still pressure of course, but now that he's having some success, you think that could just snowball here?
Now he understands that he belongs in the major league.
He believes it now.
Oh yeah, he believes it, and we see it. He's showing it right now, so that's really good to see.
Yeah, and guys, to his credit, he did not falter defensively or on the base paths when he wasn't hitting. I mean, he went a long time without hitting where, if the Mets were a contending team at the time, they may have had to look at maybe doing something there and taking some playing time away from him. But he was in a position where he could play and try to get through it offensively. But the defense never suffered. The base running, he's still a threat. He's got wheels, and it speaks well of sort of his belly and his guts that he didn't let any of the struggles offensively tank the rest of his game.
And you mentioned it, Sal. He brought it up. Gelb's trying to compliment him on the catch, and he brought it up. He says, well, I canceled out by I ate grass on the other one. But, hey, one thing you didn't mention over the weekend, there were still some weird things going on with this team. Guys don't know how many outs there are. The whole infield didn't know how many outs. They're not challenging plays they should be challenging. There's some things they got to clean up if they're going to have a chance to climb out of this hole. I mean, they should have swept the Angels. The Angels were playing terrible baseball. They let a game totally get away from them. But a lot of weird things going on, and some of it does reflect on Mendoza.
I was trying to be positive because I don't want Jose to yell at me here.
They win the series, though. That's that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
No, but I will say to your point about the challenges, the one Friday night with the tagging the runner, that's on the replay guy, Harrison, whatever his name is. What's his name? Harrison. There you go. Harrison. That's on him. The next day, where the whole bench is on the top step.
You got to challenge that.
You've got to challenge it. So as much as I'm a believer in Mendy, I don't care what the replay guy's doing. You see it. The whole dugout's doing it. You just got ripped for the night before. You're right on that one. You've got to be able to challenge that. But
the whole dugout's going.
Yeah, he was bobbling the ball there. But overall, Jose, trying to dig out of a hole here, winning 3 out of 4. I don't care who it's against. Do you think that maybe they could start to have some confidence and put that losing streak and all the negativity behind them?
Well, it's no doubt. The main thing right now, they need to focus. Try to get to 500. I know it's not going to be easy, and they need to erase the month of April. They know there wasn't too good that month. So erase that. Now you start to play better. I know you guys say, they play the Angels and the Colorado Rockies, but they need to win ball games.
And they swept them last time.
How hard is it, when you had this kind of month, how hard is it to just focus on one game at a time and not think, this is what we got to do to get back into it?
No, they need to focus one game at a time.
Yeah, but is that hard to do when you're in this kind of a hole?
Well, right now, they win 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
You know, so they see the vision a little bit better now, and hopefully they can continue to play like that.
It's just so fragile, though, because you know that if you lose one and it's, uh-oh, here we go again. You got to keep that momentum going. And much like you talk about with Benge, like maybe now he starts to believe it. I wonder at what point will they start to believe that, you know what, maybe we can win some games. Forget about the injuries or whoever's here, who isn't here. Maybe they could start to believe that they could.
One thing that I like, the GM coming out and say, Mendy is our manager.
Yeah.
So I don't want that negativity around the ball club, because it's tough to go to the ballpark every day and you don't know if they're going to fire the manager or not. You know, that was good that they say, oh, this is going to be the guy and nobody going to get fired here. Let's go and get it.
The newest report in regard to the New York Mets replacing Carlos Mendoza dropped earlier today, and I'm here to debunk it next on Metcast. What's going on, Mets fans? Welcome to another episode of Metcast. As always, I am Randy. If you're enjoying this content, make sure you smash that like button, become a subscriber if it's your first time here, and consider becoming a member down below if you want to get in on the action and have your voice heard on the platform. As always, today's show is presented by Prize Picks. And guys, even though tonight's game got rained out or snowed out, however else you want to say it, I gotta say a couple of things. I must get it off my chest. When the media lies in sports, I am here as your guys' concierge, as I put it, to put it to bed, to tell you guys what the truth is in regard to our New York Mets. And we had this report earlier from today from WFAN, from Al Cintron, saying that the New York Mets reached out to Dusty Baker about managing the team. He says he got it from a friend on a friend of his, and then it was in some type of group chat. And everybody took it verbatim just because he works at WFAN. And I'm not saying Al didn't get this information. I want to make that very clear. But I spoke with multiple sources around the New York Mets today. A lot of you guys know who some of them are, considering they're on the platform frequently. And everybody told me it was total BS. And then we get the truth bomb down below. One of the reporters, Zach Gelbs, reported earlier, right after that, I just spoke to someone who's very close to Dusty Baker, and I'll get to a better point in a second, and that person told me Dusty Baker completely denied this report. Now it got over to the other folks at WFAN, Evan Roberts and his show and whatnot, and I'm listening in, and then you hear Evan say, well, it's being completely refuted, so we don't know what's to be true. Well, Zach Gelbs has been a very reputable reporter for a long time, and I know the people that I'm talking to are not lying. Now, I'm not saying the New York Mets haven't reached out to other people to gauge their interest in the managerial role, which I think would kind of be naive if they didn't do that, considering how poor the team was playing early on in the season. And up until this point, they've won a couple games against a lot of crappy teams, so I'm not going to say that that is anything special that's going on. But we need to call out fake news when we hear it. And to me, that was total BS. You got to have legitimate sources in this industry. And I'm not saying I'm the go-to end-all be-all. I don't make things up, number one. I told you guys that Cedric Mullins was happening last year. Before it happened, go back and check our posts over at Metcast. We reported it. And we've had a few things like that. We knew Carlos Correa's contract was falling through with the New York Mets prior to it going public. So we get things here or there. Very infrequently, but typically I'm here to give you guys my opinion and bring on some guests that you guys could talk to. And that's one thing I take pride in. But I don't know what you guys think about that. Make sure you leave a comment below. Maybe you guys think I'm nuts. I love interacting with you guys. So let me know what you think in regard to that. And now I want to get back over to what really matters. Our New York Mets and this game coming up for us. These next two games in Colorado are huge. But before we get to that, I want to get to my prize picks for tomorrow. Yes, I'm going with the New York Knicks. Karl-Anthony Towns, Tyrese Maxey. I got Towns for only 2 threes, and I think Maxey is about to go off, guys. I mean, look, I picked the Knicks. I took them in 5 this series, and I'm not even a Knicks fan, but I'm also not naive. But these are my picks, so if you want to follow along, code HMA down below in the description. If you guys want to get involved, you get it. $50 on your first $5 lineup once submitted. So if you want to follow along with my picks, feel free to, or you can make your own. Maybe you think the Knicks are going to completely crap the bed, or you can get involved in the New York Mets action. I really only like to do this and present this when I know I'm going to be watching the full games, and I cannot promise tomorrow that I will be watching the New York Mets game in full, considering how late it is going to be. But with that said, I want to get to our New York Mets, and I have some awesome awesome stats that I posted earlier today that I would love to go over. Dan Bartel is my co-host here since April 21st. I know it's not that crazy of a long period of time, but check these stat lines out from Mark Vientos. 294, 368 on base percentage with a slug of 529, an OPS just under 900, 2 homers, 8 RBIs, and a WRC plus of 154. And that begs the conversation to be had, something that we've talked about a lot on this program, guys. You tell me, do the Mets entertain moving on from Vientos, maybe while he has a little bit of value right now? Or is he going to remain this player long term? I'm not totally sold on that. It's something I think the Mets should consider, especially if they're going to be sold at Ryan Clifford long term, a guy that we've talked about a lot on this program. One of the blue chip prospects the Mets required in that Justin Verlander deal a couple of years ago. He's been slugging the hell out of the ball down in AAA. So I'm wondering if that's a potential move that the New York Mets could make. And then we also want to keep it going. We talk about our guy Carson Benge, guys. The last 11 games, 10 hits. He's hitting 303, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, and 6 runs. And he's playing an amazing defense. Yes, he had the misplay. I am well aware of that. But we got to highlight the good parts of his game too. We've killed him a lot in this program, but we got to give credit where credit's due. Now, here's where I want to hear from you guys during this show and also after the show, because I'll be answering a lot of your guys' comments and questions after this show, probably tomorrow morning into the afternoon as a lead up to the game. There's a lot of conversation amongst Mets Twitter and the Mets fandom over on Facebook, and I appreciate all you guys out there and the camaraderie. But one thing that we should address, do the Mets consider moving Carson Benge up in this lineup? Think about it. The Mets really have no leadoff hitter. You're really going to settle with Juan Soto, a debate that we had on that platform? It felt like forever. We were debating this nonstop on the platform over there over the last couple days since Juan Soto was leadoff. And I get it. He walks a lot, so people say, oh, he should be on. But let's not mix things here. Juan Soto's brought in here to hit home runs and drive the ball. Plain and simple. I don't want to hear anything else besides that. So him leading off with a bad lineup behind him outside of Bo Bichette, who needs to freaking hit it on this lineup if we're going to be doing anything. I mean, that's been a complete killer for this team for how long now? But could Carson Benge steal a few bags, get on, wreak a little havoc, go back to having Soto in the 2-hole? I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Watching Lindor at the Knick game last night show up in a parachute, it looked like he was wearing a parachute. I don't know what the hell he was wearing, but there's a lot of like, bro, you're nursing an injury. I don't want to see you out and about in the public. I know that's an insecurity that I have, but him and Polanco got to get back on this team if they're going to do anything. And surprisingly, you look at the National League East, you look at the National League standing in regard to the wild card, the Mets are dead last, but you would think they'd be further out than where they are. It's only 7 games. Only 7 games. You're playing Colorado. They're the one team ahead of you. You can take care of business these next 2 games. They have to do it. I really do believe Mendoza's job could potentially be on the line, but I know it's not with Dusty Baker. Let's clear that up. But I'm really like, they better win. I don't care about the AAA lineup. I don't care about any of that. You had Peterson give you a fine outing. Shocker coming out with the starter in front of him. We'll see what the rest of this bears for us. But, guys, it is put up or shut up time. The ultimate time for put up or shut up is right now. With that said, I'm going to get to a few of your guys' comments. If you have them here on the platform, we'll keep it short and sweet tonight. I just wanted to check in with you guys. It's been a minute. Late game, stuff with the family going on. Nice day out. I'm building a swing set outside. It's not as easy to get on the platform with you guys, but I just wanted to show my face, show my appreciation for you guys. So make sure you like and subscribe. Consider becoming a member down below. With that said, Danny, what's going on Thursday at 3:20 game? You're right. It is the makeup game at 3:20, but tomorrow night's game. So 3:20 is great for a game. You can watch it. You get home from work, you can watch it, finish it off, and I'm sure we'll have some type of post-game hope all as well with you. Klub, what's going on, my man? Stearns wouldn't go anywhere near the 76-year-old Dusty Baker. I agree. Thinking about that report, that's the first thing I said when I was talking to some of my sources around the league. I'm like, David Stearns is the ultimate analytic guy, and that's a big reason why he got rid of Buck Showalter the first second that he could. And now he's going to turn to 76, almost 77-year-old Dusty Baker. Yeah, that's not happening. Blue says, get him out of New York. Jody, what's going on? Hope all is well with you and the family. But that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you sticking in. It's a short